Welcome to the Waylon perspective. Please like and press that subscribe button. I appreciate it very much. This is my reaction to Alip Ba Ta performing Everybody's Changing, originally by Keane. Let's commence. Ladies and gentlemen, Alip Ba Ta is an astounding guitar player. Ladies and gentlemen, this young man, the talent that he has on his, instrument, it's unmatched talent, ladies and gentlemen. This guitar, the guitar itself knows that it has been played when Alip Ba Ta plays it. You know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? Wonderful stuff. This young man, just so stunning every time he gives us these performances, these fingerstyle covers of these classic songs from way back. I must admit, I am not very familiar with this specific song, Everybody's Changing. I'm pretty sure I haven't heard this one. I might have, but I'm not sure at all, ladies and gentlemen. Well, yeah, in terms of the instrumental, if something rings a bell for me. Keane's one song that I definitely remember is Somewhere Only We Know, which I checked out a version covered by J Hart Music and Antidote Band on my channel of that song. But the Keane vibe, being observed and then being added into this acoustic instrumental vibe here by the one and only Alip Ba Ta. Alif actually just giving us brilliant performances every time he grabs the guitar. Every time he decides, I'm going to grab the guitar, I'm going to play something and I'm going to record it, it's going to be sheer brilliance, ladies and gentlemen. He delivers every single time with wonderful acoustic performances, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep going. Ladies and gentlemen, doesn't it just sound awesome? Doesn't it just make you feel a certain kind of way? I have to say, that main part, which feels like it might be that hook, the part, that absolutely, excuse me for my attempts to recreate it there. I mean, let's all just be calm about that to begin with. But that part does kind of seem to ring a bell to me. So I might have heard this, slightly confident. I'd say 5% confident I might have heard the original Keane song. But Alif, ladies and gentlemen, this young man, He just absolutely has that talent to transform that original piece of music into an acoustic masterpiece every time he takes on these tracks, ladies and gentlemen. And he doesn't slip up. His consistency is unbelievable. The young man just always giving us this wonderful laid back music, always giving us this music that just, there's a calmness to everything he does. Even when he does, let's say, a metal song, in this acoustic style, he infuses it with such a calm, such a laid-back, wonderful vibe. It's undeniable stuff, ladies and gentlemen. The young man, he never slips up, and he's absolutely rocking this one once again. This is beautiful music, and I just say that as we're rocking towards the end of the jam, beautiful music, beautifully performed by Alip Ba Ta. Everybody's Changing is a song performed by English alternative rock band Keane. It was released as the second single in 2003 from their debut studio album Hopes and Fears, which came out in 2004. Brilliant work on the guitar once again by Alip Ba Ta. You cannot mistake this young man's unique vibe for anyone else. When you hear this music, you know Alip Ba Ta is the one creating it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's all about. It's a signature sound. And the young man has been cultivating this sound for years and years. And he absolutely takes these old school songs. It does not matter which decade the song originates in. And he just absolutely, he makes the song just joyously awesome on his guitar, ladies and gentlemen. So impressed once again with that performance. And again, like I've said many times with this young man, whether you personally listening to the music, whether you know that song or not, you are gonna appreciate his interpretation of it on his guitar. That's, at the end of the day, all that matters. So whether you're familiar with the initial material or not does not make a difference. He's going to give you just a wonderful, beautiful piece of music to appreciate, ladies and gentlemen. And without fail, the Waylon perspective appreciates the brilliance of Alip Ba Ta. And the thing about him is he's just going to absolutely keep delivering these awesome, brilliant performances every time he grabs his guitar. It's like a partnership, a beautiful partnership, the young man and his guitar, and they're absolutely going to give you wonderful music vibes. And it's always going to create, emotion. It's always going to, generate feelings. There's always going to be enjoyment to be derived when this young man gets on that guitar and he starts playing, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful stuff once again. Alip Ba Ta, the man never stops impressing me, and that was another awesome performance to add to the archive of awesome performances that he keeps giving us every single time. That was some more elite acoustic magnificence. When it comes to Alip Ba Ta, nothing is changing. He will always be utterly amazing.